Hello, this is teddygaming here, and welcome back to another video. And today's one, we're going to be breaking down the Shredder War comic. So yeah, this video blew up on my channel and I'm quite surprised for it, and I'm so thankful for everyone who supported this video, and I'm looking forward to the next issue. And as soon as that one comes out, I'll be sure to put in that into production as soon as possible. But however, I don't feel like I explained what the series is and what the things you can expect from it. Well, myself, I don't really know too much about it, as I'm not really involved in the process of making this comic. I do, however, found some information about this comic, which you might want to know about in terms of what you'll be getting in the future for this series, and also what you could potentially be liking and what may not work and stuff like that. So this video is going to go over what they really put out in terms of like description stuff of what they plan to do and stuff like that, and should hopefully give you like an idea of what this series should end up being like. So yeah, let's take a quick look at this. Okay, so have a quick up this little paragraph here, which is just like 10 little bullet points with just like a few images, which you don't really know about what they are, because I'm not too sure I'm going to be putting them into the actual video or not. Okay, so the first plot or the point is there are 8 planned issues planned in this series. The first, which should be released closer to the end of the year. Okay, so yeah, this is quite good to hear that there's going to have an 8-issue mini-series run. That is so great to hear. And the first issue being released at the end of the year, we've already got that, and it didn't get translated until the end of January, so yeah. So you might have to wait a little bit longer for the translated version for issue 2. But nonetheless, we're still getting this, and that is really quite good to hear that it's going to have 8 planned issues. And I do wonder how the story is going to progress. If it's going to be, like, or just, well, I don't know really, like just like a few issues like building up to it, and then like having like 3-4 issues just having the big Shredder War thing. So yeah, also it does make me wonder just how well they're going to wrap it all up. If it's going to be more or less like the series finale, or if it's just going to be like an open-ended thing where like more things could happen but like not. So I'm interested to see what they could do with the ending there. So for the second point they wanted to say was, plot-wise, this will be a direct sequel to the 2003 series and the Tales Forever crossover, which I feel like most people, if you watched those two things, then you'd understand, yeah, this is a direct sequel to all that. But if you only watched the 2003 show from like the first few seasons, then you might not really have a good understanding of what's really happening. But if you just watch Tales Forever, then you have a pretty decent idea, but it's still recommended to watch both of these sort of things to have like a really good idea of what's going to be happening in this series. So I'd definitely recommend watching both of those to really get caught up to date with what's going to happen, and could potentially maybe spoil things. I'm not too sure, because again, I've not actually seen all of this. So for point 3, I wanted to say was at one time, the authors considered several ideas for a failed season 8, but the main idea was the War of the 3 Shredders: Shrel, Cyber Shredder, and Tengu. In episode 1 of season 7, that of course being Tempest Fugitive, there was an even short episode where the Turtles fall into the future in the midst of a war. That's where the idea came from our comics. So this is honestly quite good, and I do hope they still play homage to that, where like to do more or less like extend the whole scene from being like, I don't know, like 5 minutes to being like a full-blown 2-issue sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to see what they could be doing with that. There's so many interesting ideas, and they do play homage to this, then everything from that whole scene could just be so much better than like what we initially imagined when that first premiered many years ago. Okay, so for point 4, they said, as already mentioned, the artist for the series was, I'm pretty sure I'm going to butcher his name, so I'm sorry, Vladimir Putkin, Mark Nikitin. I'm really sorry if I said your names wrong. I don't really speak Russian, and I doubt I ever will. And they will be responsible for the oh, okay, so Vladimir Putkin is going to be responsible for the art, and I feel like he does a really good job. You can definitely see that like it is definitely 2003, but also having his own unique art style at the same time. I do feel, however, like near the end of this of the issue 1, he definitely captured the art style really well compared to like the beginning of the issue. There's no like, I'm not trying to like criticize it whatsoever. I'm just saying that I did notice like a big shift and change for the better at the very least. Now the colour is going to be done by Mark Nickton. And I feel like he did pretty good colours stuff for the first issue. There's not really too much I can really criticize or go in depth with the colours because it's just basic colours. And I'm not too sure if he actually used the colours from the original show in terms of like you know what I mean, like using those colours that they had on the show and use them on this one. So I'm not too sure. If he hasn't, then they do look pretty close to the original colour. Okay, so for number 5, at the moment the draft version, the first issue is complete, ready, now inked and coloured and are being made. So we don't really go in detail about that a little point because, well, we've already got the issue. So for point 6, we got the script for the issue number 2 is written at 80%. The plots are are still at the stage, and they saw stranded drafts. Okay, so yeah, I feel like this might be like one of those points where like things may got a bit missed or lost in translation. But yeah, that's quite good to see that issue 2 is nearly complete in terms of the story, and I'm sort of looking forward to see how this whole plot expands over the course of the next 7 issues. Okay, so for point number 7, it is all comics have at least 2 covers options planned, which for nowadays that's pretty standard for every comic. If you do look at the most recent Toll comics which they're releasing, they at least have 2. You got the regular one and you got cover B, and then you get like 1 in 10 variants, 125, 150, 150, 100, and so on. So I'm quite glad that they're keeping it to the just standard 2 covers. Personally, I'm more of a fan of the cover A than cover B. And I don't know if this will be keeping up with, or like in my opinion on this will be stay the course throughout the series, where like I prefer cover A, but like at the moment cover A seems to be the better one for me in my opinion, but that could all change. Okay, so for point number 8 is, like all other comics, the release will be both digital and on paper. Pre-order and printed versions will be open closer to the release of issue 1. Okay, so that's quite good to hear about that. And we've already got the digital one, which is the one which I use for the motion comic. The physical one, I'm gonna see if I can try and get a link for this. If I do, it will be in the description below. If I don't, then I'm sorry, but at least I tried. And yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to have the like physical copy of the comic, because I mean that would just be a dream come true, just have like a complete collection of family comics that are just so good. Okay, so point number 9, it is, after the release of all issues, there may be a general edition in hard, which, if you don't know, that is basically like a hardcover edition, which it'll be a little bit more pricey because it's in like a hardback format, which is quite good and it's more sturdy. It's all just in one big format, whereas you get paperback, which is basically the same, but like it's more lighter and flexible. I don't think I can really explain much more than I already did. Okay, so for point number 10 is updated version of the cover and a couple concept and teasers. So yeah, there's not really much to show here because yeah, it's just images about stuff which you've already seen. And we'll go and explain a few of these little images, only the concept ones which I found to be more interesting and actually more valuable to tell you. So you've got the first one, which is just the turtles, and which is more or less the concept art for this version of the turtles, which there shouldn't really be too much just because it's just the turtles from that show. But this one they drew them in the season 1 to 5 style, even with the original colours. Now the thing which I found most interesting about this was that Leonardo had his belt on the wrong way. Why? And then Donto had his little gauntlet thing from the Battle Nexus 2 game from like 2004. So I thought that was quite interesting. There's not really much here to tell you, but yeah, that's there. Now the other little image which they gave off in tease was the Hun one. which, if you don't know, is Han mutated as a Tails from Tails Forever, and this image is just going over a few of his expressions, how it's going to be in this comic, and he has a pretty interesting art style, or not really art style, design for his character, with him having now like a purple brown, no, dark purple coat for him, as well as having the gold thing on his hand again, with the Shredder Blade. Wow, I do hope they really do expand this a lot more. I can't wait to see where to go with this in the future. Just going to be something more interesting, or it's just going to be like, oh, well, he's just wearing it because, well, he's just a Shredder. So there's so many interesting things here in terms of what they could do, what they could not do. I do hope this does help you, like, know what's going to be happening in the future in terms of this series. I'm probably going to be doing another video just going over some images that they released for issue 2, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I do hope you all look forward to seeing what comes next in this series, and do stay tuned for when that issue drops, because, well, I'll be making it. But yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. If you do something, please share, like, subscribe, and that stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.